going, everybody, and welcome to episode 28 of the Ready Game Fire podcast. I'm your host, Chris Fox, and with me today are a whole new bunch of people, including... He's the guru of gaming knowledge. Stick close to this guy and you'll learn a lot. It's Shiva Allari. Hey. So that's your skill?
Yeah, that's my skill.
Knowledge.
That's a really good skill, I think.
I thought they introducing you, Aaron, for a second there.
Oh, that's really nice.
No, Aaron's... I've written something about his nice jumpers.
Oh, brilliant. And I'm wearing a jumper today, which is lucky.
Cardigans?
Jumpers is all-encompassing.
Okay.
All right.
He is all about the cardigan, though. You know, that really thin material to really show off that sort of that wiry, like fashionable frame.
Just girls go wild for it, you know.
Is that...
Especially in this age.
So all those Girls Gone Wild videos, are you behind the camera in all of them, just kind of with a cardi on?
Yeah, I don't want to give away trade secrets. So.
It's only a cardi, though. There's nothing else.
On the
He's
Venice
slowly
Beach.
unbuttoning.
Girls Go Wild for Aaron's cardigans. They're like, we're going to have to shorten the title, but you'll still know it's you that they're going wild for.
Yes, of course.
Next, we've just been talking about him. Next, please join me in welcoming to the Ready Game Fire podcast the only guy who can do the voices from Star Fox 64 better than me. It's Arron Caney.
Andros won't have his way with me.
Hey, there it is.
Hello.
How's it going?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good as well, so that's two of us at least. And finally, you'll always catch this guy wearing a hat, but his 360 avatar wears a top hat and a monocle, which I've never seen him wear in real life, but nevertheless, it's Olly White.
Avatars are for dreaming, Chris. They're for dreaming.
Now, since we've got a completely new set of voices here, let's get to know you guys a little bit. You have all, at one time or another, worked for Sega of Europe's compliance department, or as they call it, the standards department. I mean, obviously, a lot of listeners aren't even going to know what we're talking about. So, briefly, you know, what the hell are we talking about? What the hell is compliance? What is standards?
Basically, all the major platform holders, they have like a set of rules which the game has to abide by before they release it.
Like the Xbox has, you have to be able to play your own music through every game.
Something like that. I don't know anything about Xbox. I think that's Ollie's expertise.
But that's not the case on Sony, is it? Like on PS3, you can play music in about... Because I know I'm the only one who uses custom soundtracks, but on PlayStation you can do it in about 5 games, but it's a rule for Microsoft, right, Ollie?
Yeah, Microsoft enforce it, whereas Sony allow lazy companies to not add that feature.
See, there's trash talk already.
Nobody was mentioning any names.
I think it's
those multiple companies that I've worked at.
Yeah.
I like
developer freedom's a good thing, though.
Yeah.
Give them the choice to the developer.
So that's one of the rules. So you guys have basically, at different times in your careers, you've been responsible for the game's passing.
First time, I must say.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Second time, third time,
No, first time.
seventh
First time always, right?
Technically, so it's not how the game plays. It's all the.
No,
you're basically like the unsung heroes, aren't you?
It's just like a rule book, and then you just have to make sure that
and then
your
you
game
tear
does
up the rule book.
that. No, you have to stick very closely to the rule book. There's not.
But it's not black and white, is it? There's grey areas in the rule book.
Yeah, there's a bit of like debate.
Oh, there is.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, it gets a bit heated sometimes, but largely you do have to follow a set of rules, and if they are found, or obviously you send your game to first parties. First party will then test those games, and if they find any of those problems in that game, it won't be published.
Yeah, it's bad news
So,
as well.
finding one of those issues is a big deal.
And it costs a lot, doesn't it, for companies to resubmit games to the Nintendo, Microsoft, or Sony?
Yeah.
A lot of cash.
Yeah. So you have to try and get it right first time. Because it's big consequences,
So that's these guys, and that's what they do.
Yeah, it's not very glamorous, sorry.
No, like I said, you're the unsung heroes, right? If games failed to recognise, Controller 3 or the third quadrant.
Oh, hello.
Thank you.
You've been studying.
Eavesdropping, mainly. I had a look at all the rules to learn for that kind of career choice, and I found it hard to take it in. Well, no, because you do pick up a lot of it, don't you? Like,
a lot of it's common sense.
Yeah, exactly. But I think it was when it was all presented to me in a long list of things, my brain kind of switched off, like I was revising for a school exam. So that's why I think you guys deserve more credit than
thank
you
you.
possibly get. So that's the group. But yeah, just to flesh out your characters even more, what do you guys play? What do you guys love the most? Who's an Xbox guy? Who's a PlayStation guy? Who's a Nintendo freak?
The Wii U is the one thing I'm really excited about.
I was just annoyed with their E3 presentation.
It was pants.
I think it was, it was underwhelming, definitely.
Yeah.
But I think they did all the right things, really. They have to get their Wii fits out, and they had Pikmin. They've got a new Mario game.
I know. I think it's
It's not as though Zelda and Metroid and Star Fox and Donkey Kong aren't coming to the system. They will be there.
Andross's enemy is my enemy.
Exactly. We're going to see those things.
I know, but
I know it's like E3 is not the be all and end all of
it is.
of a system.
Because I've quit. I'm not interested in gaming anymore after that.
Oh, come on.
I think, the thing that would have been for me would be Pikmin, but I'm not a Pikmin fan, so I don't know. I just wanted, a Star Fox or any kind of Metroid tease would have, or
Yeah,
maybe
it would have
even,
been nice if they had like a cool trailer at the end.
or like shock horror, like a new IP reveal.
Yeah, that would have been brilliant.
But,
Nintendo Land.
Don't, man.
What?
The real thing to be excited about is the Nintendo and Ubisoft collaboration, which looks like it's happening. Zombie U looks cool.
Yeah, that does
And
look cool.
It does look good.
If Rayman Legends is half as good as Rayman Origins, it's going to be a treat.
That was my
Because
favourite bit, yeah.
That was my favourite.
there was-
That's my favourite game of the last 12 months. Rayman Origins was awesome.
The gamepad shit looks really cool as well.
Yeah.
That they're doing with that.
Better than the Mario gamepad stuff.
I'm
Ooh,
excited about those new
Ooh.
mushrooms. Really excited about those new mushrooms.
That's another problem. I mean, we don't want to dwell on this too much because it was all covered in our post E3 episode last time. But yeah, Nintendo didn't go into their online strategy at all, and that's what's worrying. I mean, all we know is that friends codes
Pikmin
are
ain't
still.
online. Pikmin ain't online.
Well, there you go, and friends codes are still going to be rampant. So
Well, we got
Can't say too much, but it's going to be better.
Yeah.
I can promise you that it's going to be better.
that's nice. That's cool, man.
Okay,
Like,
cool.
you don't... Friend codes...
That a sentence nearly slipped out there.
Yeah.
I want to tell you so much, but it's very confidential. But I can tell you that friend codes have been improved. You're likely to see something more like Xbox Live,
That's cool.
but obviously with all your favorite Nintendo games. And I think it's going to work quite well. Like we're excited about it.
That's sweet. That's good to hear, man. I mean, everyone's expecting it to be better, or at least hoping it would be. But when they didn't show anything, it's when I started to get worried again.
Oh, they showed the social network. Was it?
The
Miiverse.
yes, the
Miiverse,
Miiverse.
yeah.
So I got confused for a second because Mike was calling it the Me Universe, the Umiiverse or something. I can't remember.
That's quite good.
It
Universe is quite good.
Yeah, they missed a trick. Well, Shiv, you're a big Nintendo fan. You've got your 3DS. We've had a lot of 3DS stuff.
Unfortunately, I didn't bring it today. I'm looking at their Street Pass.
Well, yeah, man. My one's been on since I got off the plane yesterday. I just arrived back from Spain. So
How was it in
hopefully
Spain? Street
it-
Pass in general.
I didn't actually use it. I've been conserving my battery recently because I used Street Pass a lot in the early days of the 3DS, but I was kind of sick of getting to places and having my battery be completely run down because I'd forget to turn it off. So I've kind of stopped, and I've got plenty of hats now.
Yeah.
I've got loads of hats.
You have that top hat and monocle, maybe.
Actually, I do.
There's a top hat.
I do have a top
Yeah. I'm sure it's a good feature. They've if you use it in Spain though, all the Street Pass will come through in Spanish because it's not clever enough to do system to system changing language. It just sends it straight through in whatever language it came from.
It's cool though because then I'll tick off Spain on my map and get an accomplishment.
Not achievement, not
No.
trophy, an accomplishment.
I really wish Nintendo wouldn't be so stubborn either, because I mean, whether it's coming or not, they didn't announce any kind of achievement or trophy system.
They've said something about it. I think they've given the developers they can put in a system, an accomplishment system, into their games, but it's up to them if they want to do that.
But it needs to be uniform, like the PSN and like Xbox Live, because there are Steam achievements,
Yeah.
but because there's not a level or a gamer score.
Yeah.
Even the hardest, the most hardcore PC gamers I know, they don't care. No one cares really about Steam achievements. Really.
I don't care about trophies or achievements. They're still very arbitrary.
I do care about them, even though
In
my
what
gamer
way,
score
though?
is quite low.
Why?
I like the feeling when it pops up. Because it changed everything. Because it used to be like, oh, I've 100% in Mario 64. You'd say to your friend and they go, cool. Now, the most minor of accomplishments gets broadcasted to the world. It's like, hey everyone, look at what I've achieved.
But it's the difference between having a game that gives you achievements that are like, that sounds like it would be really fun to do, and I can run around and collect 500 feathers.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that sounds like fun.
Yes.
Let's get going.
Lots of fun. Well, yeah, like I said, I like the idea. I like it when they pop up. I don't grind for achievements like some of the guys out there. Mike. Well, no, I platinum. Heavy Rain's my only platinum, but I'm really,
But you just have to play through
really
that game
proud of
once.
it. Huh?
Do you just have to play through it once to get it?
No, I got the platinum at 6 a.m. On the dot one morning and screenshotted when the trophy got published on Facebook.
But
Proud.
When
Really proud.
I completed Mario Galaxy 2, got all the stars, and I got a little message.
Did you send it to someone?
No, but I still had that. It's in my inbox on my Wii.
Yeah,
so-
but who's going to believe you, Aaron, unless you can send it to
Well,
someone?
I don't care.
I think gamers do care about that, and I think Nintendo...
Yeah, that's fair enough. If people do generally care about it,
Yeah.
it's something that I'm never really been into. I do, have an Xbox and a PS3 and things, but it's just something that I've never really, tried to get into. I don't know why.
Sure.
But
Well, in some ways, could Nintendo's way be better in a way? Because if you're forced to put achievements in all games, a developer who doesn't, want to do it, they can put in
Yeah.
those really rubbish achievements which no one cares about. But then developers that do like achievements, they'll implement it, and then they'll put the more meaningful ones in there.
yeah, like if Nintendo give them the choice, then developers who care about it and know that people do care about that sort of stuff will put them in the game.
Well, as
So
long
it'll
as
only be the good games that will get them.
as long as when people see you online, you've got like your me, your name, your friend code, and like your let's face it, it's Nintendo. It's going to be stickers or
Stars
fluffy
or-
points.
Yeah.
Everyone likes stickers. If they gave out stickers in the office, I think people would be happy.
Yeah, I'd like real tangible stickers, but
But there'll be Mario stars.
they will.
Oh,
No, they won't.
yes.
They'll be like Kirby marshmallows.
Well, that's even
Oh,
better.
oh, what's your marshmallow level? Oh, it's only 7.
Yeah, but then when you get to 10, Nintendo will probably send you a bag of Kirby marshmallows that you can actually
That's
eat.
fair enough. Yes, we wanted to get to know you. Shiv's got a 3DS, but it's not here. Aaron, big Star Fox fan. Ollie wears a hat, and he was playing Mass Effect 3 earlier on today. So there's a background of the guys in the room with me right now. I hope that paints a vivid enough picture. Today, we are giving you our definitive predictions for the impending next generation of consoles, plus what we'd really like to see them do. Although, even though they probably won't, we were just speaking a little bit about the Nintendo's marshmallow points, so fingers crossed we'll get them.
This is the news.
It's time for second-hand news, and just to change topic completely, let's talk about Nintendo. After E3, they've come out and announced the Nintendo 3DS XL, which it's got a 90% times bigger screen,
it's
isn't it?
quite a bit bigger. It's quite soon as well for Nintendo as well.
Aaron's shaking his head.
They you normally expect them to wait a bit longer before they launch something new.
I
But
think it's ridiculous.
It's been slightly over a year.
You know what?
Over a
yeah,
year.
so it's fine. I don't mind a new model, but can you give me two, like, what are they called? Circle pads.
Circle pads, yeah.
Circle pads.
Aaron-
Two
Oh, the
circle
circle
pads.
pads.
You're talking crazy talk. There's no room on this new XL console to stick another circle pad
Oh
on
my-
there.
It's just,
All of that
that's
extra
what I'm
room on the
waiting
screen,
for.
Aaron.
That's
You've
what
got
I'm
to accept
waiting
it.
for. I've tried not to buy the 3DS. Yeah, just because I'm adamant on getting these two
Yeah.
circle pads, and then they've releasing this XL edition with that not there.
What are they doing? Why is that not on there?
Well, partly it's because Nintendo are not like some of the other companies, and they're not going to release something new that makes the old one unplayable. If they release a second generation version of the console a year later that has an extra circle pad, half of the people who've got a 3DS, from before, will not be able to play any new games because people will start developing games that require two thumbs.
Yeah, that's already
thumbsticks.
happening though. I mean, there's the
You know
Circle
what,
Pad
have you
Pro.
played like Metal Gear on the 3DS? I played the demo the other day, and it's unplayable.
Camera's not fun.
it's unplayable without two thumbs, circle pads. Sorry,
Two circle pads, two thumbsticks,
Yeah.
two.
Guys, we've covered this. You kind of deal with terminology every day. Circle pad, Aaron.
Sorry.
Circle pad.
No,
The
Sorry,
jiggly
listeners.
rotator cuff,
yeah.
I believe
as
it's
we
called
like
left
to
stick
call
and
it
right
in
stick.
standards.
We're left stick and right stick.
The
at
portable.
Sony,
The
so-
nipples.
The nipples.
The nipples, that works.
They're a
Sure.
bit, they are sort of like indented though. I mean, I don't know what kind of nipples you're.
Mine look like that.
Yeah.
And I've got two, so I'm already doing better than the
Than the 3DS.
than both models.
So what Nintendo need to learn is that they should base all future handheld consoles on Chris's chest.
On Chris's body, yeah. Cheers. I mean, hell, you'd shift more units.
Pick up your Chris this Christmas.
But if they're bringing out another model, which they are, stick the circle pad on there. I mean,
It's got a
come
bigger
on.
screen. How much more do you want?
And yeah, that's another
Bigger
thing.
battery life.
Yeah, I mean,
I
that's
think I would buy the XL. I would buy it, just that one thing. No.
because it doesn't have the circle pad on.
That, yeah, that's just that. Because I really like the XL. I like it's a bigger screen. It's more immersive and all that. Marketing bullshit.
Are you fighting back tears? Right.
I am a little bit because I've been waiting to buy a 3DS because I think the library is getting really good
Yeah.
at the moment. And I really want to play like Mario Land and Zelda
Mario Kart
and
7 is
Mario Kart. There's Star Fox, things like that. I want to play these games. Loads of great downloadable content for the system, and I can't because I do want to just wait for that model. I'm adamant and waiting for it.
Can't you just buy the Monster Hunter attachment?
Yeah, but it just looks so bad.
It looks horrible, doesn't it?
It's
Oh.
horrible.
It's powered by a
I know it's
separate
very
battery.
shallow and superficial for it to, to have. I want my DS to look really good. Yeah.
You could knit a little replica cardigan for the one that you're wearing.
Yeah, I need my DS to match my
slide it
shoes.
in there.
Jesus.
But if you knit the cardigan for it, you could just that little extension, that little cover up for that ugly fetus growing on the side of it.
Oh.
It is ugly, isn't it? And I haven't actually held one.
For them to even release a peripheral just shows that they need it.
I think they just needed it for one sounds.
It was
really.
one
Alright,
game.
yeah, one
One
game.
game.
Cool. They should have thought about that. Wait, maybe we've been making games for a while. With making control. Oh, actually, the Wii didn't have two thumbsticks, did it?
Yeah, but now the gamepad for the Wii U and the Pro controller has a dual analog, so they are aware of it now.
Yeah.
At last.
Well, they tried to do circle pads for that, didn't they? But
Yeah.
They changed the analog.
I was really worried about that, so I'm glad they changed that to proper nipples. We don't really need to go on about the circle pad thing, but yeah, when I first saw the new picture of the 3DS XL, my eyes were just frantically searching it. But I was like, where is it? Where is the next circle pad?
Well, I think it's cool. I like the XL models. I thought the DS XL was
Impressive.
Was good.
I never got one. I did see. I want to see the 3DS XL before I get one. But the other thing is that the screen, is 90% bigger, but it's the same resolution. Is that going to be a problem? Yeah, Ollie is nodding.
It wasn't for the original DS. Well, the DS XL, it still looked good, but I guess with this new one with 3D, I guess we have to see it.
They couldn't change the resolution because of the 3D. It would have been impossible. They would have almost had to make two different codes for the two different systems. So it was unfeasible.
Just make it, rather make it easier for developers to make games for it.
It's not only missing the circle pad though, because in Japan and Europe they're not bundling it with a charger.
What?
Yeah.
In
Really?
America are getting one. We're getting the 3DS. I mean, Japan and Europe get the 3DS XL a month earlier than America. So the 3DS will be available in Europe and Japan on the 28th of July, and a month later in America. Americans will get chargers bundled with the console, but in Europe and Japan, you won't be getting a power supply with your console. Now that's unbelievable. They're doing it to cut costs because Nintendo's $5 billion that they've got tucked away wouldn't cover it.
The worst thing for me is how they announced it for Europe.
How did they
Did
go?
you see that video?
No, I didn't see the video. I was in Spain at the
There's a
time.
video, they released a video, and then they talk about new console, and then they mention, and if you already own a 3DS or DSi, and I was thinking, there's gonna be a discount for us or something.
Yeah, man, you
It's
wish.
gonna be wicked. And then they're like, it uses the same charger. We won't be bundling one with the console. And I was just like, oh no.
You can't do that. You can't. I hope they change that decision because that's retarded at the moment. Although Europe and Japan get a silver color, and America don't get that, so they can charge their consoles, but we'll have a silver one that we can't charge.
Well, then we know who's won.
Yeah, Nintendo. They're laughing.
all the way to the bank when everyone still buys one.
Yeah, that's what you need. You need to make a stand. You need to not buy these things when they do bad.
Yeah.
People still buy things.
I want one.
You know, don't buy it.
I want one!
If they don't sell the charger, don't buy it.
So I can pretty much gauge the answer for this, but who's getting a 3DS XL?
Not
I'm
me.
gonna wait. I was thinking about it right now. 2 Nintendo hardware launches in 1 year. That's amazing.
More Nintendo news. Namco are going to be co-developing the next Smash Brothers game, which is pretty big news because it's been HAL Laboratories up until this point.
I think it's a very good idea.
Yeah, me too.
Just some fresh ideas. I guess,
Yeah,
and
I think because isn't Smash Brothers Melee like an MLG game? But Brawl didn't make the cut, did it?
Oh, okay.
A Major League Gaming thing. So obviously Melee.
Yeah, I knew what you were talking about.
Yeah, obviously Melee was actually like a proper good fighting game
mechanized,
compared
really
to
tight.
Brawl. And I think that Namco would really would recognise that.
They've got
that
the
need to
pedigree,
do that.
haven't they?
Yeah, definitely. And Soul Calibur and Tekken speak for themselves, don't they? So
Sakurai, he the way he talks about it, he wasn't too fond of people being too good at it, and some of the stuff that was in Raw, well, that made Raw really tight. So he kind of changed it a bit in Melee, like. There's random slippings if you're doing really good.
Yeah,
Which,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
when you're playing at a high level, you don't really want that to happen.
yeah, you just don't want any luck element involved. Really, it
it's
should
down to
just
skill.
be yeah.
But he wants to make a party game that everyone can play and pick up. And
But I think that just
maybe the Namco guys will come in and really
Make it a bit more hardcore at its roots, like a more of a fighter. I really like Brawl. It does get a lot of stick from a lot of the hardcore people.
I think it's justified though.
Yeah, well,
Definitely.
I mean, with the random slips that you've just
I-
mentioned, obviously that kind of shit doesn't fly, and you can't use it in tournaments because
Yeah.
you can't have that. But as a game that's fun to play, I still think it's up there. I love like people like our mutual acquaintance Dennis.
Oh, yes.
yeah.
He's not a fan of the Super Smashes, but I love. Sorry, Final Smashes. I love super moves in games. It's something to look forward to, isn't it?
Yeah.
See the screen filled
Yeah, I
with
know,
crazy
but it's
crap.
just but I definitely I speak to Dennis a lot about
But Kirby cooks people in a pot, and you have a problem with that, Aaron.
it's great, but it's really, really annoying for the person it's happening to.
Well,
And it's
don't-
just not fair
don't-
because all it is a game based on luck, and I can understand why people feel bad about that.
People play poker professionally all the time. Now, there's no there's no final smashes in that. There's no final smashes or random slips in professional poker. That's all I'm going to say.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Is
Chris.
it? Because I don't think that point is fair enough at all.
It
But
is.
I still
I
said
don't
it.
know enough about Melee to try and back myself up. All I know is that the character I use is a lower tier character, and that's why I always lose.
Who's your character?
Yeah, Pikachu.
I knew it was going to be Pikachu.
Yeah, but you and the bloody Pokemon. If you
I
just left the Pokemon alone,
Just
have
can't,
they not fighted
I
enough?
love the Pokemon.
Fighted.
I'm just going to
Definitely didn't go for a beer at lunchtime today.
No, it's
Definitely
no.
didn't start at 11:15.
You were just playing draw something, so I think your brain's still in draw mode and not speak proper mode. Switch it back over, man.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try. But I find it much easier to communicate via pictures.
Yeah, I feel the same with interpretive dance.
Well, we've got the dancer right here next to us.
Me too.
He's been dancing the whole show. Shiv hasn't stopped waving his arms, and
Yeah, Ollie's really good at draw something, by the way. What's your username if people want to find you?
it's Olly Draws.
And he is one of the 5 people who are still playing that game, so he won't be hard to find and track him down, and you'll get a
masterclass.
pretty incredible drawing back on a small screen with no stylus. And so, yeah.
You should have been featured in the Metro.
Cheers, man. So,
Man, you should do the world's first draw something art exhibition at the Tate Modern. Make it happen.
I want to get like 500 of these phones and draw a little bit on each phone, and then have it all on a massive screen, like a giant art attack.
That's gonna.
That's what I call a big art attack. Brilliant.
I always wanted Neil Buchanan to kind of be driving in a car and kind of come up to a pile-up, a horrific pile-up, like, dead bodies everywhere, and just look up at the sky and go,
Start dragging
"This
them
gives me an idea for a big art attack." But it never happened. But Ollie, that is something that you would see in the Tate Modern. So I think you should probably do something like that. A multimedia. I mean, we've said it on air now, so you
Well,
better
if
do it.
Renegade
now
Fire
it's-
would like to sponsor the collection of 500 smartphones.
Oh, with all the money that we have, yeah, there's a donate button on the website, but it's pretty dusty.
Well, if all our listeners who have Samsung Galaxy S2s want to donate their phone for an exhibition, then we could be onto something.
They're going to get it back.
All we need to do is
Just glaze over
well,
that
I
one.
mean, we have to allow for some sort of miscommunication by post, but our best intentions would be to get them all back, minus one or two.
You're not going to have to call them though if you lose their phone because you've lost their phone.
They'll be able to call their phone though,
Hello?
and we promise to try and keep them on.
Amazing. But yeah, find Ollie and draw something, and he's going to blow you away. Before we leave the Namco developing the Smash Brothers story, it'll be cool to see like a character like I tweeted through Ready Game Fire the other day that it'd be great to see Nightmare in there with his huge sword, kind of screaming down on Pikachu with his little goggles on. I'd like to see that.
I'd like to see Pikachu get sliced in half by a big
Piss
sword.
off.
That would be. I mean, Namco might really take Smash Bros to a completely different level. It could be really gory.
It's interesting. I
And
mean,
Nintendo would never allow that.
See Mario get his decapitated
can I just say
by
that
Link.
another thing I loved about Brawl was the Subspace Emissary cutscenes, because you saw all these Nintendo
think,
characters.
Like, as a love letter to fans,
Yeah.
Brawl was amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course. But as an actual game, it wasn't that great. That's all. The online was terrible. Like, I played one game, and
You got into a game. Good for you. I've never
Yeah.
got into a game.
and the lag was unbelievable.
Shame.
Yeah. So yeah, the game was bad, but as a fan thing, it was brilliant.
There's two things about Nintendo games online. One, they're not very good.
Yeah.
But two, when you get into them, Virtua Tennis 2009 is magical. Me and Mo have played a game on the Wii at work and unplugged the Ethernet cables, so they're not connected to the internet in any way, shape or form.
Say
no
what?
wireless connection, and we played for about 3.5 minutes before the connection was lost. Now, if that's not magic, I don't know what is, and that shit is pouring out of Nintendo.
Oh,
How?
loving that.
I don't understand.
This is in a standards department where we're supposed to be monitoring this kind of stuff, and we have no explanation for why this happened. And it wasn't once. This is several times waiting for error codes to come up.
And it doesn't automatically flip over to wireless.
It doesn't. It can't, because you set up the connection yourself, and it can't flip over.
And you're still playing a proper game.
You can watch with two screens next to each other. You're still playing each other.
That's insane. I take it all back. Nintendo they're just once again they're just ahead of their time, aren't they? I mean,
This is black magic we're talking about here.
They're trying to create a network without a network.
The reason you can't get into
Innovation.
Super Smash Bros. Brawl is because
I had an
in all
Ethernet
honesty-
cable, obviously.
Yes. I don't know what you were thinking.
Yeah.
there's too much magical
Yeah.
Virtua Tennis shit flying around to stop you from getting into a Smash Brothers game.
Uh,
Well, I mean, I think it's good that Namco are doing it. Hopefully, it'll be
I am positive about it. I think they're going to do a good job.
All I want them to do
I'm
is
excited.
have Clone Noir in there. I'm not sure if you know Clone Noir. Clone Noir? No?
Who?
It's some old 2D platform game on the PlayStation 1, PS2. He's going to be back in it. I think it's a he. And he's going to have a new game.
What,
hopefully.
Nintendo or Namco?
Namco.
Well, like I said, hopefully we'll get some nice Namco editions that we wouldn't have got
IP
otherwise.
revivals.
Pac-Man.
Yeah, Pac-Man. Yeah.
Because they made the Mario Kart arcade game, didn't they?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they did.
You can actually-
Pac-Man
They did-
versus Kirby
Exactly. The
trying to
ultimate,
eat
Yeah.
each other. That could get really ugly.
the definitive answer of who's the ultimate gelatinous blob who can eat things. Yeah, it'd be great.
Amazing.
I mean, Pac-Man's final smash would be brilliant. Everyone else would turn blue and he'd just eat you up.
yeah.
I'm excited already.
Yep.
I think it would be brilliant.
If you guys have a slightly modified Wii, you can actually play
Project M.
Project M?
Oh, I thought you were going
Oh yes.
I thought you were going to mention the Brawl, the Smash
okay.
Brothers
Yeah,
Brawl
the
mod
patch.
that's out there.
I wasn't going to mention that. That's a good point.
Well, for those of you who don't know, there's a mod that you can access through your Wii. I don't have the steps here, but you can easily find it online. And basically, this community have modded Brawl to play like melee.
Melee, yeah.
So
See?
no slipping.
That's how much those fans
less
care.
floaty. Yeah, oh, without a doubt.
They care so much, and Nintendo owe it to those people to make a game that's as good as Melee.
Do Nintendo listen to the fans though? That's what I've kind of been left wondering after the last kind of 5 years. Do they? Do they listen? Do they care?
Well, Reggie does. I'm not sure if you saw his latest interview.
Reggie can't talk like a normal human being. How can he communicate with other human beings?
He's a PR man. Of course
Reggie-
he communicates.
Reggie, I'm really unhappy with this. I'm really unhappy with my Wii experience. Like, yeah, I can play magical internet games, but you know, it's not letting me play. It's not letting me play Castlevania on my specific TV through my component cable. Reggie, help! Oh, look at my zombie face.
What more do you want?
I want everything. No, I'm talking about the first Virtual Console game. It doesn't work through my component cable through my specific television. There, I said it. Called up Nintendo and they went, eh.
Well, there's another thing about Nintendo compliance. You don't like with other consoles. You have to support these resolutions. Nintendo, they're not so fast.
It's a good thing that these rules are there. I think these rules need to be there.
These rules should be there because they protect the people who are buying the games.
And you're going to get quality. You're going to get a higher level of quality. I mean, Nintendo obviously famously used to have their seal of quality, and now
But I
after all
guess
that Wii shovelware,
well, I guess they sort of started the whole submission process, really.
they did because before that Atari had no rules, and
No
that's
rules.
why there's 1,000 billion trillion copies of ET
So,
buried
you
in
know,
the
you need to
desert
owe
somewhere.
it to Nintendo that all these other first parties do the same thing.
I've got a copy of the Atari game ET up there, by the way. I bought one on eBay the other day when I was really bored for $2.99.
brilliant.
Unboxed, but when I get a proper office, I'm going to frame it.
Isn't like one sealed really expensive?
Oh, no doubt. But yeah, this is unsealed, just a cartridge. But
That's still cool.
It's a piece of history.
Maybe a Ready Game Fire treasure hunt is in order to go and find all these copies in the desert.
Okay, listen.
You should hide all your stuff around London and then do a scavenger hunt.
The first
for all your
clue.
listeners.
The first clue is buried under a giant T. Go. Next in the news, Final Fantasy VII is allegedly coming to Steam. That's big news.
That is big news.
I've been told. I'm not a Final Fantasy
I've
guy
not
myself.
heard this, but that is pretty. Yeah, but then like I've seen I did like a search on Final Fantasy VII like the other day, and there's loads of PC mods out there already that make it look even better.
These are all unofficial, though, aren't they?
Yeah,
So,
but that PC gamers are quite used to that sort of thing, I'm sure. And
if an
wouldn't they
official
just
one
do
is
that?
coming out, though, it's obviously good news for an actual remake of the game that's playable in this day and age, which would be good for me because I didn't play Final Fantasy VII at the time. I would very much like to play it,
I think
but
people
I
would be
can't
more-
see it because it's just a mishmash of
I think
blocks.
fans would like to see a PS3 remake. wouldn't they?
Somehow, I don't think it'll be a remake. It will just be a port of that.
Yeah, it would just be a port.
You
sports.
can't port it though.
They'll
Well, it was
HD
on the. It got released for the PC back in the day.
It did.
Yeah, 7, 8.
Yeah, that's
what.
why where the
Yeah.
mods have all come from is stem from this
I
original.
didn't know that
So they've already done it. Just because they're coming out on Steam doesn't. It's not that big a deal.
because I didn't know that. It's a lot harder to like. You can't just upscale PS1 games, can you?
You can. They don't look very good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
you-
still look shit. Like
You need to build them kind of again from
Especially
the ground up, don't you?
Because they had pre-rendered backgrounds.
Yeah.
It's just enlarging the bad JPEG, basically.
Yeah.
Zoom in times 200. Click.
Yeah.
And then you have the characters really not high polygons, but really sharp characters on this really blurry background.
Yep. There's a Resident Evil restaurant opening in Shibuya in Japan. Wouldn't want to go there. I'd probably be the thing on the menu. No.
No.
Because it's in Japan, it's going to be a restaurant called Biohazard. Delicious.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Why are they doing this?
It's Japan, isn't it, man?
Yeah. I know
they
there
love
was,
Raccoon City.
there was like a Sakura Wars cafe before.
Is it gonna serve a Jill sandwich?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Great success. That's amazing. Well, we can move on from that story now. I don't think anyone's going to do better than that. But yeah, it's opening on July the 13th, and the Biohazard Cafe and Grill will offer Resident Evil fans a place to dine on their favourite zombie treats. That's from Kotaku. So yeah, if any of our listeners are in Shibuya, which of course there are, pop down there. Let us know what you think. Okay. The Mass Effect 3 Extended Cut DLC hits tomorrow, Tuesday the 26th. So
Now, is this free?
yes, it is free. It is free.
See, because I still haven't finished it.
Me neither. I'm actually approaching the end now, so I'm now wondering if I should download the DLC and play this new quote unquote director's cut or whatever, or get the ending that everyone else had, so I can see what people were complaining
the
about.
one with the new ending.
Yeah, it's just going to elaborate, I think, because have you finished?
I've not played it.
Shiv?
I've played it a little more than Alan has, but
All right, so no one here has finished it, but that's fine because we've touched on this like a lot. So
But I know my flatmates were really into it, and they didn't want to finish the game because they wanted to wait for the new
Okay,
ending.
cool.
So I think there's a lot of people out there that are actually waiting for the DLC before completing it. So that sounds cool.
From what I've
Good
heard,
news.
it's
Yeah.
just an addition. You get the same ending, and then there's going to be a little bit of extra footage on the end.
I think it's 2 gigabytes, and apparently it's all cutscenes, so it will literally just be.
Oh, it's just an
It's
ending.
just going to extend it because
Right.
apparently apparently all 3 endings are quite vague and similar as well, which is outrageous considering the different paths, the different sprawling paths you can go on throughout all 3 games. So I think it's just going to give you more closure for all the different kind of aspects and all the decisions that you made. So
any news if there are going to be 3 different endings, or is it just one generic?
I think it'll be. I think at the moment there are three endings, and I think basically you'll just get that ending, and then there'll be more cutscenes afterwards saying, "Oh, and you remember that decision you made in Mass Effect 1 where you didn't buy that guy that Jill sandwich in the Biohazard Cafe? Here's what happened to him. Oh, he's starving to death. Or hey, you bought him the sandwich. He's mayor of Vermeer. So."
Been eaten by a cannibal.
So are you gonna download it beforehand and complete it with the DLC installed?
I think because everyone was so distressed about the ending, I've got to just avoid that ending now that I've gone this far.
Because
Not really by choice. I've just ended up at this point because
Me too.
I've slowly
Because
made
we
my way
lead busy
through.
lives, Ollie.
That's
we lead
exactly
busy
what
lives.
it is, and it's definitely not because I've been trying to beat your scores on trials for the last month and a half.
No, exactly. You know, we're not a Steve Edwards or a Chris Evans, you know, who's got that kind of time. You know, hey, yeah, sure, I'll complete it in the first 24 hours. Why not? Chris Edwards, Steve Evans, you know, whatever. But yeah, I mean, so there was outcry from all the fat, angry nerds out there when they didn't like the ending. But even the most sober-minded, more intelligent gamers like Steve and
Is
Chris,
this the first time that
They didn't like the endings
content's been
either.
changed, like from movies, literature?
well, it set a new precedent for the industry, isn't it? If
Special edition Star Wars content was changed. People
yeah,
were
no, but that
unhappy.
wasn't because of the
I read it somewhere.
We're in like George Lucas
Yeah, that's
like,
just George
territory
Lucas.
now.
Yeah.
You know things are getting
But
serious.
from fan outcry. I mean,
Exactly.
like,
I read at the time. I read it. It was quite funny. It was like Mass Effect fans, the only fans who would Star Wars their own trilogy. Meh. Put in more dubacks.
good point.
No.
You might as well just ask all the fans what ending they want, and then just release that game.
No, a different DLC patch for every user.
Ah,
Who's
Each one 2 gigabytes.
detailed what they want.
yeah.
I mean, that's a movie. It might come out and you're going to get like an hour and a half cutscene, and it's going to be fucking rubbish. But it's going to be a kick.
Cover
You're gonna-
everything.
I guess they're trying to tie up every loose end.
No, just a kickback from the people who made the game, just going, "You wanted this ending, now here you go. You sit and watch this bloody ending."
But if it's very kind of conclusive in terms of every kind of loose thread in the story, that's going to be worse for some people because some things are better left.
That's what the fans wanted, and that's what they've got. So let's see if it pays off.
Yeah, before we get into the main topic, I just want to kind of air some frustrations, and they're Vita related frustrations because I bought a Vita, and every time I hold it in my hand, I'm like, wow, this piece of kit is so impressive, and it's so nice, and I love the screen, and I love the dual analog control, and all of this. And then E3 happened, and I was kind of expecting a long list of games to be announced, and that didn't really happen, and now I'm really worried what I have to look forward to with my Vita, and I'm not happy. I'm not a happy customer.
Yeah, well, Sony's reason for that?
Go on.
The previous E3 shows were quite long, so they needed to cut some content to make it a smaller show.
Let's spend half an hour on Wonderbook. I mean, yeah.
Supposedly they had. I wasn't at the show, so I wouldn't know. But I think they had 20.
You were running it. You're Jack Trenton, aren't you?
They had around
I thought you just
22
wore a
Vita
suit.
games on the floor, and there was like a sizzle trailer as well, but they weren't shown during the conference.
Yeah, it's not all about E3, Chris.
Stop telling me that. It is all about E3.
Yeah,
It is.
for you maybe.
It
But,
is.
You know, these E3s are, they're putting every single newspaper article. They have to tailor to so many different markets. They can't just
I think
please
that's
gamers.
that's what E3 used to be about. I think when we were growing up and you saw.
Yeah, it was more
when we were
about the
growing up
fans.
and older. Yeah, you would see E3 and that's all you need to see because everything would be shown there.
Yeah.
And then it will just be the third parties you'll see on the floor.
But it's a lot. It's a process now, and
Because they don't want that information to be lost during E3 doing one big
it's hard to
broadcast.
handle. Yeah, I know, but
Right, well, tell me what I'm going to be playing on my Vita then in the next 12 months.
That's a secret.
As Creed Liberation.
Uncharted, the director's cut.
Hey, As Creed Liberation, Black Ops Declassified,
Sega will have something special for you.
Monkey Ball!
Monkey Ball's there, yeah.
Hooray!
I was thinking of something. I'm sure there's going to be something better than
Monkey
that.
Ball's wicked.
What?
No, well, we can't say, can we? But there'll be a treat.
Anarchy Reigns!
Nah, it won't be that.
No.
Nobody wants that.
I want it.
You want it?
I want it. I want it bad.
You can chainsaw people in the face. I mean, it's pretty cool.
People are disappointed that it's been delayed.
What, 5 of them?
Yes.
Sorry, that's not fair. I mean, at least 50.
Hey man, Anarchy Reigns was one of the most talked about games on the Eurogamer Expo show last year, man. People were queuing up for that game, and Chris Evans, who was minding the Anarchy Reigns stall for most of the event, said that a guy was he just kind of sat down early on the Saturday and was there for most of the day, and his friends had to come and get him and drag him away to take him home. So I think there is demand for Anarchy Reigns, and I think it's something different.
Platinum Games are really good.
Yeah, I mean,
They make good games.
Well, they did their project P100 was.
Yeah, that was sort of overshadowed.
Yeah, well, it wasn't
wasn't
even
shown during
shown,
the
was
conference.
it?
Yeah.
No.
because it's quite Pikminish. A lot of people
Yeah.
have said, but
Does
that
it
was
look
one of the
good?
things where man, it does look cool. It looks like it's like Pikmin crossed with a superhero game. So yes, that's just me. I'm a Vita owner. And I'm frustrated.
The launch games were quite amazing. There was quite a big set of launch games. I'm not sure if there's any of them you want to go back to. You can download some PSP games if you never owned a PSP.
Actually, I have to say that the recent Wipeout HD and Fury DLC for Wipeout 2048 has been great because I'm a big Wipeout fan. I wasn't as impressed with Wipeout 2048, but HD and Fury is one of my favorite games of this generation. So now that I can play it on my Vita on the go and get trophies, yes please.
Yeah, pretty good. But then again, like, you were pretty unhappy with the 3DS at first, right?
Yeah, I'm fickle.
And, that's turned itself around, and the Vita will do the same.
But they brought out the games. I mean, we knew Mario Kart and Super Mario 3D Land were coming.
Yeah.
We don't know what's coming. I think you just need to.
I guess it's harder to judge with Sony because they don't have those sort of mascot-based games. I guess they've got the God of War, the Uncharted, and things like that. That will come.
What we call on this podcast as well, Pabra, or PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale.
Yeah,
that's also coming to Vita.
I think Dennis wouldn't like that, would he? Because I'm not sure if you guys know, it's entirely based on specials. As in,
really?
you can't kill anyone or gain points without doing a special.
Oh, really?
So you beat
Okay.
them up to build up your super bar.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then once you get a special, that's the only way to kill someone.
Yeah, and there's no ring outs. At this point.
Well, from what I've seen as well, yeah.
Yep, there may be like announced later on, but yeah, you build up super meter. That's how you KO people.
Yeah, Dennis won't like that.
No, he doesn't like supers.
No, I just think that.
What about a Journey for PS Vita?
Man, listen,
That's an experience.
like another that company game for Vita would be
But
great.
they had the free contract deal, didn't they? That's
Yeah,
up now.
they've confirmed they're multi-platform. Well, they're going to go multi-platform, which
Yeah.
probably means iOS, I'm assuming.
That is-
like
that-
all small companies do.
Yeah.
That is news that we actually missed. Yeah, good call, guys. Yeah, that game company who made Flow Flower and Journey are now going multi-platform. You won't see Flow Flower or Journey on other platforms though. They're
But you
sticking
will
with
see
PlayStation.
a collection. I'm not sure if you saw that today.
Yeah, they're all coming out on one disc. Those games.
What's this? Oh, they.
Yeah.
Flower, Flow, and Journey. So
I haven't played Flow. Is that good?
I haven't played Flow either.
I wasn't fond of it. I thought it was okay.
I thought Flower was
Yeah,
brilliant.
Flower
and
was
I
the first
thought
one that really.
Journey was incredible.
Journey may well be my game of the year thus far.
Really good. Really good game.
It's
See, now this is what makes me sad not to own a PS3 because I've been going around people's houses going, I'm going to take your PS3 home
You know,
with me.
the police have told you you can't do that, man.
I know, well, yeah, I've had a bit of trouble. I mean, several of these people I asked, they weren't really there.
And they're kids.
Yeah, well,
I didn't think the
and they
online
were tied up, and yeah,
game
it
of the-
was a. Let's not talk about that.
Well, Chris, game of the year.
Yeah.
It was only around 3 hours long. Is that allowed?
I don't care. It's not about length for me. It's about experience. Like, because a lot of people
what you
say
do with it. Right?
it's about girth. Knob gags. Yeah, I mean, but regardless of how long it lasted, Journey was a big, fat, stiff cock of a game, and I had a great time with it. I really did. Like, people going, "Oh, I'm not spending £10 for a 2-hour experience." It was like, well, if that's how you want to look at it, that's fine. But it was a 2.5-hour experience, but it was a fantastic experience.
That's a long time to be holding on to a cock.
I didn't let go, not once, and I would do it again. God damn it! But yeah, I'm a huge Journey fan. I think it's brilliant, and everyone should play it.
I think Arron had a wonderful experience playing.
I had a really good experience playing Journey.
Me too. I had a special experience with another guy.
Yeah, I had.
Well, this is exactly.
Well, this is what happened, yeah. Well, I played the game by myself at first because I'm not really a big online person, so and
Did you unplug your Ethernet cable? Because apparently that's not
still
going to
works,
stop
man.
anything.
and anyway, went online the next time I played it, and then I saw this guy jumping around.
You're like,
and he
shit,
had,
it's
like-
an enemy,
he
run
had-
away,
he
run
had,
away.
Like, golden robes, and I had like the red robe.
The standard
so
beggar
this
robes,
guy,
yeah.
This guy is like, must have done everything. Literally went through the whole game. He showed me all the things. That's maybe a bit of a negative about the game. You do get shown everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's. But anyway, I was just like, I had an amazing experience. I won't spoil the ending, whatever. But at the end, I'm just like, yes, I've actually completed this game with another person, a total stranger. This guy is incredible, or girl. You never know. You don't know the online ID. Yeah.
you everything you need to
Anyway,
know about sex.
credits rolling. Credits rolling, and then it
credits.
shows you the name at the end, and the name I got, Bog Weasel. I'm just like, fuck.
You'll never.
Any bit of individuality you give online, it just ruins it.
You'll never forget that experience you had
I
with
know,
Bog Weasel.
I won't, yeah, Bog Weasel. And if you're listening, Bog Weasel, you really upset me.
I was really
It was
happy.
a brilliant experience, but yeah, that really they just don't show the name. Don't show the
Don't
name.
turn the light on afterwards.
So let's move on to the hot topic, which is our next generation predictions. I mean, we after the kind of death rattle of this generation at this year's E3, we're going to get all the huge news next year because we're going to see PS4, we're going to see 720. But I mean, there are some things we know already. There was a leaked document that came out a week ago or a couple of weeks ago about the 720/Durango.
Yes, I've heard of this.
I can't help but think about bloody Johnny Rango and Johnny Depp in that movie.
Yeah.
This little chameleon wandering around talking a bit funny.
And there's that new movie, that Tarantino movie about Jamie Foxx playing a slave who gets freed and kills all of his owners, and it's called Django. Well, that's how it's spelled anyway. Django Unchanged.
It's an Xbox 720 on the loose.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Here's the document right here.
Oh, you got it before
Yes.
it's taken down.
Well, this is some sort of
Trying to
page.
get that.
Yeah,
This
we've
is
been
some-
trying to get that all day.
This is it's bits of it. It's not the document. It's an article that kind of came up with it.
Covers.
But
Oh, this is what we read earlier.
yeah,
Yeah. I thought
It's pretty good. It's pretty comprehensive.
I mean, yeah. What do they talk about here? Blu-ray, which is good. Obviously,
Yeah.
about time. Connect to.
Supposedly there's two.
It sounds, to be honest, it sounds like with the main thing I saw was the glasses that you're going to wear, and it's basically going to turn your console into Existence.
God's sake, or Demolition Man sex.
Well,
Sorry, I didn't mean
can
to
dream.
I didn't mean to call it that. I meant to call it, the Black Mamba, the Hunk and Shunker, boning. And then he leans in and she goes, "What are you doing?" And he goes, "Breaking the law."
So much.
I love it as well.
I'm going to watch
Yeah,
that.
I'm watching that.
Yeah, we all should. I mean, Kinect glasses, brackets Project Fortaleza. Project
something Italian.
Kinect glasses.
Yep.
This 3D thing's not going away. This motion control thing's not going away.
Well, 3D in games, like the PS3 and the 360 has really died down quite a lot, and there's no mention of it at all at E3.
And a lot of film developers, a lot of directors now are possibly off the back of Christopher Nolan's kind of standpoint. A lot of them are now rejecting, the studio pressure to film in 3D. So, but I'm glad. I mean, 3D TV sales are dropping as well, and thank God, because
It's been seen as a gimmick.
yeah,
It was a gimmick. Watching something in like high definition is so much better.
that's all I want.
It's so good. I mean, watching something at the IMAX in 3D
Yep.
is great.
Well, yeah, I mean, like the
But-
computer animated films obviously look brilliant. But I'd much rather see something in IMAX than 3D, and like you said,
Yeah,
I'd much rather watch something on Blu-ray than 3D.
Well, you can see how it could work with games, because everything's made in 3D, so you have all the exact 3D position, and
That's
especially
true.
in racing games, you can judge corners better. In the football games, when the ball jumps up, you can tell it's going in and out, and
But you know what it's like? You've had your 3D engaged on your 3DS,
Yeah.
and at first you're like, whoa. And then you kind of get used to it, and you lose the kind of... The effect only hits you like initially, I think. It can be argued that it's more immersive, but I don't really think it is more immersive. I'm not bothered about 3D.
I don't know, with the PS3 and the 360, even the 3DS, whenever you do 3D in games, it takes more processing power, so it's not really an option.
More battery as well.
Yeah, it's not really an option you can just turn on and off, so a lot of the major games just do not support it.
Like most of the 3DS games will just cut the frame rate in half, don't they? Like, doesn't Street Fighter cut
Yeah,
it to
they've
30 frames per second
Yeah,
when
that's
you're
right.
playing in 3D?
It's
Yeah.
same with Dead or Alive and quite a few others.
Yeah.
But with the 3DS in mind, I guess there's always a 3D screen, and if you're on a PS3 or 360, you're not sure if the users will have a 3D screen, and would you want to cut the power from the game to incorporate 3D?
Yeah.
So lessen the general experience for maybe one person, two people might have a 3D screen.
'Cause people didn't buy 3D TVs though.
Yeah, what one person in standards did.
Yeah.
Street Fighter on the 3DS is a slightly unfair example though, because Nintendo are well known to not be particularly helpful to people programming their games.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
People need time and practice, and so the fact that they couldn't get Street Fighter to work in a better frame rate in 3D is really only down to the fact that they rushed to get it out for release. And if they'd waited, they would have been able to get it out same pace it's playing in 2D, and they've been able to do that on more recent games. But Nintendo really do need to improve their relationship with third-party publishers, because otherwise they're going to find a real problem with all of these later console releases. And the Wii U is going to rely on other companies, and they've got an amazing lineup at the moment, and it could get better. But if it comes down to Batman Arkham City being like a key title on launch,
That can't happen.
they're going to be in trouble.
Exactly.
I think back in the N64 or even GameCube days, Nintendo's output now is a lot more than they did back then. And so they could probably support their consoles back then with what they have now. But you saw at Christmas time, how many great games came out at Christmas time, across all the platforms. As a Nintendo can't support themselves, so they need to get these third parties on board to actually get their content on their system.
It was slow in the GameCube days, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A lot of dry patches where there wasn't a lot coming out. But yeah, just back to the 720. So what we know, thanks to this this leaked document and what we've seen already, Connect 2, i.e. more Connect but kind of incremental upgrades. So probably
4-player.
finger
4-player will be a good
detection as well. All the smart glass stuff that we saw at E3, integration through your smartphone, like the latest Xbox update and the Xbox app from my iPhone update. I can now launch things through my phone. I still have to be in the same room because I have to be looking at my television. But once I've accessed, once I've turned on whatever the option is, I forget the name. I booted up Mass Effect earlier on using my phone.
Yeah.
Hooray! So yeah, there's
With your controller sitting right next to you, I
yeah,
take it.
yes. Like I
next
said, I
gen
had to be in the
now.
room.
It shows that E3 conference that they're really sort of trying to test the waters with all this smart glass stuff for the next system.
Yeah.
And
It is great and it is very exciting. The problem that we had in the last episode of Ready Game Fire was that they just they spent too long talking about it. Anyway, so Connect 2, Smart Glass, and Fortaleza, the glasses. Basically, the glasses appear to be Wi-Fi or 4G enabled and incorporate augmented reality in a way that's similar to Google's Project Glass augmented reality glasses.
Existence.
Just sounds as though they're
gonna
trying
be
to
great.
get every gimmick into their next system.
Pretty packed with gimmicks, isn't it? A gimmick for all the family. You don't like one gimmick? Try this other gimmick. Scratch and sniff gaming.
You won't need scratch and sniff when you've got 4-player Sonic Freeriders 2, and you and Steve and Mike and
Hold
Andy
hands.
can all hold hands while you're all standing on one board, leaning backwards and forwards.
Here, hold this. Hold my hands. Hold my legs. That's not my leg. Anyway,
Twister in 3D.
I mean, I guess it is kind of dull to announce, we're going to have this Radeon graphics card and this is what it's going to look like. But yeah, it's pretty packed with gimmicks. So this is what we know. I mean, what else do you think we're going to see? It's not going to be diskless, disk driveless.
I thought that would be a possibility.
I read that today, actually.
Still?
There's strong rumours that they still aren't going to have a disk drive, but there's going to be
way too soon.
There's going to be a backlash from everywhere that sells games still.
It's
I
too
think
soon,
I think
man.
like
It's not going to happen.
first parties rely too much on retailers. I don't think,
And let's not forget, a lot of places in the world don't have
because like games on
internet.
PSN like FIFA and Mass Effect are like £50.
Yeah.
Like even more than a buying the package.
Still early days for that.
Exa-
For consoles. I mean,
Exactly.
obviously PC
that's,
games.
That's not going anywhere.
They need to work out. They need to sort out pricing. Like, I don't know
Exactly.
how they're struggling with that.
Yeah,
but
they'll have a disc.
there'll be disc drives. Okay, so where the PS4 or Orbis obviously will have highly integrated crossplay support with Vita, if the Vita's still, alive by that point.
It depends though how well this crossplay works now.
Because
they're doing
it's obviously the future. I mean, I think it's going to take a while before
I
it's
think
properly
Sony really
implemented.
they're really trying to push the crossplay stuff.
They are.
Vita and PS3.
But do you not think that's a lot to do with they saw the Wii U controller and they've gone, we don't need to make that controller, we're going to use the Vita.
Yeah, it's their answer, definitely. Yeah.
And I mean it's the same thing. The reason we're stuck with all
why,
this
like,
motion control
Microsoft-
gaming is because of Nintendo. But I like to think that Nintendo's Wii was kind of like a bit of a gimmick and a bit of a piss take, and they thought it was really funny.
Microsoft and
they've
Sony
had
always
Microsoft-
react to Nintendo.
They've had
Always.
Microsoft and Sony running around in rings, coming up with the Move and the Kinect.
Yeah, after like Nintendo were literally waving their Wiimote in people's faces,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh yeah, I want a piece of that." The crossplay feature was on the PSP. It just wasn't used.
Yeah, the remote play.
Yes, remote play. Sorry.
Yeah, it's
So they've had the idea knocking around for a while.
it's
It's just too early.
they just didn't push it enough. I don't
Yep.
think.
But that's going to be something that the PlayStation brand has over the Wii U, in that you can already transfer your save between Metal Gear Solid HD Collection on your PS3 to your Vita and take your Vita out on the train, whereas you can't do that with the Wii U's gamepad because it can't leave the house.
Yeah, but there's still.
It will blow up if you take it out of your house.
Nintendo are still talking about or Namco are doing a 3DS version of Smash Bros and a Wii U version of Smash Bros, so they're going to have some cross compatibility. I'm sure. Nintendo have done, Game Boy Advance to GameCube stuff, and they've tried it all before. It just doesn't seem like people really want to do it.
With smartphones though now, I mean the problem was that
I guess it's not as accessible back then because you had to buy so many things.
Well, it was with Zelda Four Swords. It was you had to have 4 Game Boy Advance and the special cables. Everyone's got a smartphone now, more or less. So
yeah, but not everyone has a Vita and a PS3.
that's true. But even if you've only got a smartphone, I think if you you can use Smart Glass still using that, and the Nintendo Network will be on you, and there will be a Sony equivalent, I'm sure. But I mean, I guess the other predictions we can make is that the Orbis/PS4 will have the same interface as the Vita, i.e., not the cross media bar, but those weird bubbles. What does everybody think of the bubbles?
I'm not a fan.
No.
It's cool.
weird.
You can customize the backgrounds, and there's been some really cool stuff you can download, like see-through backgrounds.
Yeah.
But the actual layout and
Do you not like it slightly more than the PS3's like XMB?
I
though?
like the XMB.
I
but
like the
what-
XMB.
The
once
thing is,
the
I'm
XMB
so
got
used
filled
to
up,
the XMB.
Oh, just give me the Xbox dashboard any day.
No, I
It's
think
just-
Microsoft's
even give me the Wii
dashboard.
home menu.
Whoa! Over the XMB. All they need is for more RAM to be assigned to the XMB, so it would load when you're trying to do stuff over like the game loading. That's the problem with it. It's too slow. When I first saw the bubbles, I kind of laughed because I didn't think it looked that great. I've got used to that now, obviously. But when you're moving the bubbles around and your other bubbles get displaced, and every game has to have its own icon, even if you've got it on a card.
Yeah.
So there's loads of pages. I think you should be able to do folders. I hope an update comes where you can do
they
folders
can
like on the
change that,
smartphone.
for sure.
The 3DS can do it, so
Exactly.
Yeah. I think they'll change that.
yeah.
Definitely.
And also here I've written for the PS4, move to support. Lol.
I think they should abandon that.
We're going to see much more move.
Because I think their killer app was it sorcery, and it was
yeah.
just terrible, wasn't it? I haven't played it, so I can't
didn't,
judge.
It just didn't sell because no one's got a move.
I think
I mean,
with-
the Kinect is, as stupid as we may think the Kinect is or isn't, it's sold. I mean, Microsoft pushed it hard.
they're
and
like, I think Microsoft are just brilliant at advertising.
I also think that was a slightly more ingenious idea about how you were going to go forward with like
Because it was actually different to
Yeah.
what the Wii was offering.
the move is a Wii controller with
A light.
a light. On
super
the top.
accurate though. I love how accurate it is compared to my Wiimote.
But you'd hope that it would be more accurate, seeing it came out like 5 years later.
Yes.
I mean, if it wasn't more accurate, you'd be worried, really, wouldn't you?
Yep.
And They, I mean, that is a fancy piece of equipment that I would be like not surprised to find in Ann Summers. I think.
We really know nothing about the PS4. It's all been kept under wraps.
Lock and key.
Do you guys think that there's going to be streaming generally in the future for the next set of consoles?
How's On Live doing?
Well, it's not doing well because the internet's not there yet. I mean, we've got BT Infinity in this country,
I
but
gave it a go. I gave it On Live a go, and I played Wheelman with Vin Diesel. Brilliant game.
Well, a free game. You chose one.
Streaming it, and it was really
he
fun.
chose poorly.
It was a good. I had a good experience with On Live.
It doesn't look. It still looks like you're streaming a low res video, though, doesn't it? It's not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's again, the idea is great, but technology isn't there yet. It's going to be the standard. 5 years, sure.
think the
Diskless streaming games, but right now it's too early.
So we're going to be renting everything.
I think it's going to take longer than that. I think the internet's a long way from there.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have to recable like the whole of this country and just imagine the rest of the
Yep.
world.
Oh yeah,
I
well,
think we're a long way away from that.
so many territories don't have Xbox Live or PSN or the Wii Shop channel. So I was trying to think of Nintendo's one.
Which is sad because it would be really nice to play FIFA against someone in like Africa and for someone to, instead of just going, I shagged your mum last night, if it was in African, that's stuff that you want to copy and paste and go like, I wonder what he said.
Exactly.
He could be saying good game. Oh no, he's not saying good game.
Not saying
he's definitely
he
not
didn't
saying
write
good game.
GG. No, it's not about my mum. It looks like the next generation will be more incremental step ups than
I
the big
think
jump to
it's
streaming
not-
and
Yeah.
I did read somewhere that Microsoft might not go for as much power as Sony. Sony's still going to be hard on power play, but Microsoft are going to look more like Nintendo in a way. As a,
well, the middle, the
Yeah.
bridge between.
it will be obviously
Yeah.
more powerful than the Wii U, but compared to the PS3,
Yeah,
it'll
yeah,
still
yeah.
be in the race. But they'll be pushing more Connect and families and trying to broaden it out.
PlayStation have had a real problem with putting so much power in, and it's such a complicated system that no one can build something to utilize that power.
Yeah.
And the worry is they'll do it again. And Microsoft are being quite clever by taking that step back, produce something really clean, simple to build games for, and you'll get the best out of it. And then you'll have people struggling like they have been for the last 6 years building Sony titles.
I don't know. I think like the Vita is definitely a lot more streamlined than the PS3, and just some of the tools that I've
They've
seen.
learned a lot. Yeah, I mean, well, you can have party chats on
Yeah,
it, for instance.
I just think that some of the tools that they use that I've used, seem as though it's a lot more streamlined and it's a lot easier to develop for. So I think they're heading in the right direction. So if they do this power push and make it easier for developers to make games.
Oh,
then-
hold on. What's Power Push? I mean, is that a form of glasses or
Oh, I just
earmuffs?
power push.
Oh, sorry. I
It's
thought,
an
it was a
adaptation
new
of
peripheral.
No. If they if they do, go for power, but
PlayStation
make,
Power Push.
make it easier for developers to, work on the games, then, what's to stop them?
Because they go in that hardcore route though with the Vita.
They won't though.
That's
my prediction. The PlayStation 4 will be unbelievably powerful. Powerful enough to launch NASA rockets into space. We've heard that the PlayStation 4 is basically going to be the new NASA rocket. They're going to send that up into space, just like 100 of them attached together.
Yeah.
And
but ports of COD from the Xbox will still crash on it.
Yeah.
yeah, well, sadly, yes.
So we covered on an older episode that the kind of biggest thing that's happened this generation has been online, whether it be playing games online on 2 of the 3 consoles, or getting your stuff like XBLA, PSN games. It's all been about online distribution and gaming. So what do you think is going to be the main feature that's going to define the next generation?
The social networking
Yeah.
stuff.
It's going to be more social networking.
Definitely.
Well, I mean, with the next iOS upgrade for the iPhone, it's all
people can't-
Facebook's going to be.
People need to know everything about everything.
Yes, this is what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
While I'm
and,
gaming.
It's something that I'm not, particularly fond of, but people seem to enjoy it.
It's
and
an extra way of advertising,
Yeah.
promoting the game.
they
You see
use,
other
they
people are
use their
playing it.
consumers to advertise their products. But people want to talk about that sort of stuff and they want to post things like that, then that's cool. But
Because I'll tell you what the problem is, Aaron. A lot of people don't have that thing in their brain that perhaps you or I or our friends have. The thing in their brain that says, no, that's too inane. I'm not going to post that online. A lot of people don't have that, and they do want to share absolutely everything in their lives. But if there's other people who want to read that,
if the masses want to do that, and then the companies are going to give them access to do that. So I think that's going to be a big. But like you've even seen it with Wii U at the only
Nintendo,
networking thing that they mentioned was the social gaming side.
They mentioned that
But I think
doesn't.
they could make it work. Like not.
Oh no, they confirmed it doesn't connect with Facebook or Twitter. It's going to
No,
be
it's
like
just
an
going to be its
internal-
own thing. Yeah, but they're going to sort of take that direction of like trying
Yeah.
to copy Facebook, I guess.
I think the key is going to be how they use, Nintendo are treading a very fine line with the controller and the system and like this sort of social networking before the others start it, of somewhere between ingenuity and invention and gimmick. And from the adverts and what we've seen of games like Zombie U and stuff, where they've made the controller look like something useful that can enhance gameplay. You could have something, like using the controller as your sniper rifle sight when the TV is still full screen. Stuff like that. That could, be more than a gimmick and could move stuff forward. And, the idea of Zombie U where you're playing with other people around the world in a social environment. And playing with your Mii's or whatever else. So instead of playing as, oh, look what I just did, you're already in the social environment playing with other people and they can see what you're doing during gameplay.
Yeah.
Now that could be interesting, and you've got to hope they do that.
problem is, I think all this new technology and the way we play games and the way we share games and the way we buy games, it is all great, but I think, I don't know, is any of it distracting from actual innovation in game?
Yeah,
I mean,
there's no real.
For years it was a gamepad in your hand and a game console underneath your TV, and all the innovations were happening in game.
Yeah, the games make the system.
Yep.
It's not about what the system does. Like that's why the Wii was successful. It was something different, and
Yep.
it wasn't as powerful as other systems, but people thought, wow, it's doing something new and it's actually pushing like a new idea.
And it was exciting as well. Whereas
Yeah.
everyone was excited going into the Wii launch, and
Yeah, and why
who's
not?
not enough people are excited about the Wii U, and for good reason. It is worrying. It's slightly worrying.
But
We're
then
excited.
You're a drawer, though. You just want to draw on your little gamepad.
We want to play Mario Party online. 4-player Mario Party online,
I'm a big fan of Mario Party 4.
and we're excited. Well,
I
there you go.
love
There's
Mario.
another player. We're going to have to fight over who's playing in these games.
But
Mario
Mario Party and Bomberman, do they work online? Because I always think of them as a social game. You invite people around.
Right, I'll tell you what, guys. We'll start the wrap up now. I've got Super Bomberman. We'll play a game of that.
Yeah.
So, guys, there's our 2 cents / pence / rupees / golden coins if you live in the Mushroom Kingdom about the next generation of consoles.
Marshmallow Kirby's.
Thank you. Thanks for listening to episode 28 of the Ready Game 5 podcast. Don't forget to vote for us for the Games Media Awards. email gma@intentmedia.co.uk and say, hello, I'd like to lobby for Ready Game Fire to win the Best Gaming Podcast Award. We need your support, so please spam them with as many emails as you can. That's gma@intentmedia.co.uk. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Find us Ready Game Fire. It's very easy. If you want to contact us, it's contact@readygamefire.co.uk. If you use iTunes, then you can find us on there on your iPhone or on your PC. Rate, review, and subscribe, please. That really helps us out. We need more ratings and we need more reviews. We've got some very exciting episodes and other things coming soon. I can mention one of them now. Episode 30 will be a top 20 gaming music episode voted for by the team RGF. Guys, like episode 20 was the top 20 games of all time. It's the top 20 gaming tracks, so it's already been fun, going through making YouTube playlists, sending them to everybody and voting and stuff. So that's been really cool. So 2 episodes time. We'll be bringing that to you, and it should be exciting for everybody, so stay tuned for that one. But in the meantime, I'm saying bye. It's goodbye from me, Chris. Goodbye from Shiva.
Bye.
Goodbye from Ollie.
Goodbye.
And goodbye from Arron.
Bye.
Thanks very much for listening. Ready, Game, Fire.